America, welcome to Big Daddy's Kitchen. I'm Big Daddy. This is my kitchen. I'm here to help you, America. Frankly, you have a problem, okay? It's not an economic problem, which we have. It's not a political problem, which we have. It's not a coronavirus problem, which we have. We have a problem with Italian food, okay? Well, I am Big Daddy. I'm a lifelong raconteur, a noted storyteller, those of you uninitiated, and a lifelong half Italian. I can cook because I'm half Italian. Hopefully I can help you too. Today we're gonna make generic fish. Insert the type of fish you want. This happens to be Tilapia Piccata, okay? We're gonna commit several heresies here in the kitchen today because I'm gonna do things perhaps a little bit different, but you know what? I cook better than most people, so I thought I'd share with you. I'm sharing the love, America. This is tilapia, 1 pound, picked up by my lovely wife. You can do the same thing with chicken, you can do the same thing with veal, but tilapia, I like it. You really don't have to clean it much. It's got these funky veins here, but you just pretty much eat them up. Other fish you have to get in there and fillet and mess around. So what do we need? We've got the tilapia. My lovely wife is a keto girl, so we've got almond flour. That's heresy number 1 for our breading. We've got salt. We've got olive oil, extra virgin only. Shout out to Rachel Ray. We've got avocado oil, which we will not be using, but my lovely wife again has this around because of her keto fetish. We've got the pasta boiling already. Oh, heresy number 3, real lemon juice in a bottle. We've got this in addition to this. Why real lemon juice in the bottle? Because it's a little more tangy, it's a little more concentrated. I like it. We've got our egg wash all ready to go. The professional chefs may tell you don't use the egg whites, only use the egg yolks and beat it up. It sticks better, doesn't make much difference to me. And we have, how do you say this, honey?
Di cecco.
So, like an Italian American, I've been calling it Dicecio for years, but this is perhaps the greatest commercially available pasta, widely commercially available pasta there is. It just edges out Barilla, which is a popular pasta. Hard to kill either one of these, but this one is my all-time favorite. It's a little tougher to find than Barilla. And if either the Dicecio company or Barilla want to send me a big check for promoting you, please do that. All right, now our pasta's boiling, so let's heat our oil. We're handicapped a little bit here in the kitchen. We have the space, but we're handicapped by the fact that we do not have gas, so we will not, in fact, be cooking with gas. We have this fantastic, super flat iron skillet, which works very, very nicely. What is this, 50 bucks online?
Yeah.
Yeah, 50 bucks online. Works well. The heart of Italian food is, of course, good ingredients, but it's also simplicity and knowing how to mix those ingredients. I tell people this all the time at the risk of sounding pretentious. It's like Miles Davis said. Music is not only the notes you play, it's the notes you leave out, okay? It's about exercising restraints. And so often when you go and get bad Italian food, it's because they threw in everything. Let's add more of this. Oh, I like parsley, let's add half a ton of parsley. I like garlic, let's add way too much garlic, all right? It's about fresh ingredients. So speaking of garlic, over here's the garlic. Now for this amount, we're gonna be cooking 1 skillet's worth, a pound of fish here. This is, I would say, maybe a tablespoon worth of garlic. This is, in fact, freshly minced. For this particular type of cooking, this or a franchise, you're going to want to chop it a little more fine. I wouldn't say puree it, not really necessary, but you want to chop a little more fine. And the reason for that is because you add garlic toward the end, okay? You're going to get your fish a nice golden brown, and then you're going to add the garlic towards the end. The reason is because this is on fairly high heat, and we don't want to turn our garlic into a dark brown Chinese food type of thing. Okay, that's the only time it's good to burn your garlic. Not good in Italian cooking. But you want it fine so that it's got more surface area and it infuses better into the oil. You really, really want to be able to taste the garlic and these other flavors. Oh, here's the other absolute heresy that I'm committing, and some would say I'm going into French food by putting wine in. This is a Chardonnay, Chablis, cheap wine, whatever, off the shelf, just a splash of this stuff, really makes it nice. You can look up a bunch of different piccata recipes, and they would call me a heretic, any number of things, and I can live with that. But it's good. Without that, it doesn't really round the whole dish out. So let's see where we are. Trick to see how we're doing. Oh, you hear that? Lovely. All right, America. Here we go. So, we're gonna prep our fish into the wash. All right, and we're gonna turn this down because it sounds like it's crackling just a little hot here. A little more than we want. We don't want it smoking right off the bat. And we're gonna go into the flour. This is a surprisingly nice flour. I've never worked with this before. The problem when you work with a white flour, even an unrefined wheat flour, is that it tends to clump up when you put in the fish. This is nice and flaky, which is what you want. That's Lena. Say hi.
Hi.
Say hi to the fans, Lena.
Hi.
Tell everybody how old you are, honey.
I'm 7.
Tell them who does most of the cooking.
Mostly it's
You
Mom.
do not want the flour clumping up, okay? And then it's gonna be like those scrambled eggs they have at those awful chain restaurants where they add flour and it's kind of gross. You wanna lay it down. It's gonna turn golden brown. Salt we're gonna add later, and we're gonna do that with our caper. So back to your question about salt. No, in fact, no salt added beforehand. You can always add salt to taste. So let's put the pasta in here. Here comes another heresy. Are you ready? I'm going to break this in half because I didn't fill this thing all the way up. When's the last time I cooked, Mama?
4 months ago.
4 months ago. Did I make this or was it something else?
Meatballs.
Meatballs.
And you made it for 40 people.
And I made it for 40 people because when we're cooking for an Italian family, you never know. Now this has been cooking for a minute, we're going to move it around. Our crust is sealed there. We don't want it to stick, so we're going to move it around a little bit. Maybe turn it down just a smidge. And that's another one of the heresies that I'm committing here. You do not have to eat a piccata by itself with vegetables on a plate. You can throw it over pasta. If you're Italian American, we have all kinds of mixes and matches that we already do. This is one of them that we do. Some of us do. I think we're almost ready to flip here. I'm betting. Watch out, Mom, this is going to splatter. Oh. Let's see. Now this is tricky. Back to our Miles Davis metaphor. It's about knowing when to play, when to intervene, right? I like a lot more oil in this. This is going to go over pasta after all, so just a little bit is not going to do it. You're going to need a lot to make the pasta greasy, make it smooth, make it slide down nice, otherwise it's going to be too dry. But you don't add all that oil at first. We're not deep frying chicken here, okay? It's a little bit for the pan frying. Once you have your crust, and that is nicely sealed to the fish, then you can add the oil, but that's not going to be until later. So now, my capers, get them ready, and I am very generous with the capers. See that? Lovely. A lot of salt, brine, that'll do you, whether they're small, whether they're big, doesn't matter. Being an Italian male, I don't work from a recipe book, but for those of you who don't have an innate sense of how to cook pasta without screwing it up, this box tells us cooking time 12 minutes, al dente 10 minutes. I'll know when it's done. Back to the fish. The fish seems like it's probably pretty well crusted now. It seems to be sticking a little bit, so I'm going to move it just a little bit so it doesn't burn, doesn't stick. And you can see it's turning brownish. So now we're going to start judiciously adding olive oil. Okay? This is probably pretty well cooked, but I cook it through. These are nice and well done, but I tend to leave it on for a little longer for flavor. Okay? And now I'm going to add the garlic. Excuse me. Let's do this. I'm going to spoon up all this garlic, and we're going to spread it around. We're going to get the garlic right into the oil there. You really want to watch your garlic. Make sure that your garlic is not turning too dark brown. Okay? And that's why you want to be generous with the oil at this point. Once your fish have gotten that nice crusty seal on them again. All right?
Ooh, it's bubbling. It's bubbling.
Yes, it is,
bubbling,
princess.
bubbling, bubbling.
Looks pretty good, doesn't it? That's a lot of oil. We got a solid inch of oil in this tiny, what, 10-inch pan maybe? All right. And with the capers, they can go anywhere. You want to get them warmed up. Now this is starting to look lovely. Okay? And now I'm going to put both the real lemon in here. This is my personal method. This is not endorsed by any Italian chefs that I'm aware of, but it works. And we're going to mix all of this up. So at this point, I'm turning my fish down to low heat. Back to our cheap wine, which is going in. Put a finger over.
$5.
Okay, $5. Perfect. That's exactly what you
I'm
want.
drinking the rest.
And you drop it in. How much would you say this is, Mama?
You probably got like
The
a
nurse in me
tablespoon?
says that's about 50 cc's, maybe 100 cc's there, all right? You know what I'm
big
gonna
on
do?
salt.
Here's something not often done in Italian food. Butter.
Butter, 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 butter,
Hey,
butter, butter.
nobody asked you. All right?
What's your northern
Just about that
Italian?
much. It gives a little bit of creaminess. It's very nice.
It's grass-fed.
This is one of those recipes that straddles itself between Italian and French food. I've often wondered how it was that I just kind of grew up in a kitchen. I grew up around a lot of big feasts and family stuff, people cooking. And I was never the one cooking, but all of a sudden one day, I just became a tremendous cook. Like they say that with Louis Armstrong, the great American jazz genius, he just picked up the trumpet one day and just started playing. So I wonder how it is that that happened with me with food. It's not all food, it's just a few things, but I am brilliant, I have to say. My working theory is that being half Italian, we are, of course, the great lovers. And one of the best ways we can impress women is by cooking, right? So when my wife agreed to marry me, I was underemployed, over the age of 30, and living in a basement in Northwest Ohio. Not too many prospects of upward mobility, but I could cook. We bring our pasta over here to the sink. Add cold water on the top. And this is a mark of an excellent pasta. When you spray some cold water into the hot water, see if you can get in there. There is very little starch that rises to the top. Putting the water in there isn't really to cool it down as it is to get the starch off. And you'll notice with lesser pastas, we'll get some starch. We are ready to go. Now all of this is going right over all of that. And mix it in nicely. Oh man. Oh my God. Yeah, it's good. I ain't lying. That's it right there. And rocket science. And a little more lemon only makes it better. That's it. Thank you very much. This has been Big Daddy's Kitchen. I'm Big Daddy.
I'm Lena. Hi, welcome to Big Daddy's Kitchen. And today, I was about to say for a little while, like, subscribe, hit the notification bells, and share.